Hello and welcome to the summer semester of Introduction to World Geography. My name is Caleb Smith, or Patrick Smith. I go by Caleb. This is my 8th year to teach geography, 2nd year to teach it online. You have all my contact information there. A little note about these videos before you get into them. The videos are about 10 minutes in length each. That's because that's where my iPad and YouTube get together the best, is at a 10-minute video. Some of them are 12, some are 9 or 8, but for the most part they're about 10 minutes worth of videos. I hope you enjoy the course. I hope you like it. I hope it's interesting to you. I know it's an introduction course. And the problem with an introduction course is that you're trying to cram a whole lot of information into a small amount of time. So I hope you like it. So the question is, why study geography? Now, like the good Dr. Hibbert here, if you know where a body part is, that's great. If you know where the humerus is or the femur is, super, wonderful. But doctors don't just tell you where something is, they tell you why it's there, what it does, if it's broken or not. The same thing with geography. Geography isn't just about maps and flags. It's about countries and people groups and minorities and majorities and rules and laws and all these different things. And there's lots of things with geography beyond just knowing where something is. The word geography comes from the old German word Urkunde, which means the description of the earth. And there are two sections of geography: physical geography and cultural geography, which is also called human geography. Physical geography is studying the earth, studying the land. You might study things like glaciers, like the guy up there on the left, or something cool like volcanoes or something like that. Perhaps flooding, or you may be building maps, which is also part of physical geography. There's also cultural geography, which could be anything from this guy who's studying this culture in Africa, which is really cool because you can tell he stands out. You know, that guy right there, look at him. To barbecue. There's a geography of barbecue, which is interesting, and here's a perfect example of it. The further you move toward the west across the United States, the more cattle is involved in barbecue, and the more tomato-based the barbecue sauce becomes. But there are all sorts of geographies labeled with how people interact with each other and with cultural features. There is a third element of geography called GIS, or Geographic Information Systems, found on page 14 and 15 in your book. You can see how this is a computer program, and in this computer program, in this computer program, you can see how different identities are given to pieces of land. You know, this is this person's land and that person's land, and there are roads here. And there are also elevation. You can see the orange lines here, which is elevation of the land itself. So in a GIS system, what happens is a computer-based system gives identity values to land. There are key geographical elements that you should have learned probably in 3rd grade or 2nd grade, things like seasons. And we know the seasons are all related to the tilts of the earth. You have things like climate, latitude and longitude, weather, wind, the orographic effect, and we'll look at all these here in a second. The first are the seasons, and because of the tilt of the earth, winter and summer, because of the tilt of the earth, we have different seasons. When our hemisphere, the northern hemisphere, is tilted away from the earth, that's winter. When it's tilted toward the earth, that's summer. In that middle in-between area are the equinoxes, or the spring times. And you can see the earth is tilted at a 23.5 degree axis. We look at weather. Weather is the current conditions of the atmosphere at any point in time. You can read that on page 23 in your book. Also, we have climate, which is long-term weather. Now, our climate in Mississippi is humid subtropical, which means that it's very humid and it has very warm summers, but it has fairly mild winters. Some places have a desert climate, or a rainforest climate, or a tundra climate, or something like that. So there are all sorts of different climates. Latitude and longitude. Latitudes run across the globe and tell you how far north or south someone is from the equator. Longitudes run east and west. The easy way to remember this is there's a Jimmy Buffett song, changes in latitude, changes in attitude. So if I live here on 30 degrees, if I move further south, I'm living where it's sunnier and warmer, my attitude's going to improve. Changes in latitude, changes in attitude. Longitude goes the long way around the earth from north to south. Wind is the movement of air, and wind is caused by different heatings of different places, where water heats up at a slower rate than land, but it also cools off at a slower rate. So that change in heating causes wind, and here are windmills here in the Netherlands located along the shoreline that catch that wind that moves from north to south.